and also with Jake Odom and R.J. Mahurin. We'll start with Coach Lansing and your initial statement about the tournament and your upcoming opponent.
Been anxious to get here. Obviously, we haven't finished the season, conference season, the way we'd like to, but this group has been a very hard-working, great group to be around all year. I'm excited about the start of a new season here. Hope to make it a long weekend in St. Louis. It's a well-run this tournament. Doug and the staff, everybody, it's always good to come down here. St. Louis opens its arm and takes very good care of us while we're here. A couple of years ago, we stuck around for the weekend and won a championship. Last year, we didn't have quite the success, but I like the guys. We got a good group of guys that represent Indiana State awfully well. And again, hopefully we can make it a long weekend here for our fans.
Those of you who've been around know the drill. We have to your left and right our microphone folks are Christy and Bethany. So if you have a question, please raise your hand. Identify yourself and your affiliation, and we'll proceed with questions for Coach Lansing. Up front here in the center.
Todd Golden, Terre Haute Tribune Star. Greg, you just recently played Evansville. Normally that might add an element to this game, but it's because these teams are so familiar and play so similar, does that kind of take some of the sting out of a recent matchup that you had a couple days ago?
You know, I don't know. The recent sting I have is from them beating us down there. They got us pretty good. We didn't play particularly well. We didn't defend the second half of the second half at all, and we did some good things in but that was a game on their senior day. We knew we'd have to play awfully well to have a chance to win. We just didn't get it done. We know in coming in here to win a championship, which is all anybody wants to do, it's not about just winning one game. You want to come here and win 3 games in 3 days. We knew we were going to have to play 3 good teams regardless. In Evansville, we have as much respect for them as we do anybody, for Marty and his staff and their team and the way they're put together and the way they play. So whether it was our last game with them, I don't know that it makes much difference other than your prep. You know, you're very familiar.
Other questions, raise your hand, please. Try to get the hands up sooner and we'll get to you more quickly. Again, in the middle center.
Me again. How has it altered the prep this week? How has it changed since you prepped for them in the previous game? How has that changed the prep for this particular game?
Nothing for us, Todd, except for we gave them Sunday off, went hard and went at each other and actually scrimmaged some on Monday, and then gave them, other than lifting, gave them Tuesday off again. I think the way I scheduled this year, and we got a lot of young guys, a lot of new faces, I think I'm not trying to give them an excuse. I think we got tired. I think that last half of February was tough on us, and it's because these guys have been such a hard-working group every day in practice and not taking days off and doing stuff on their own. So the prep has been basically the same other than being able to give them a couple days off.
More questions for Coach? Then we'll move on to questions for our student athletes. Again, Jake Odom and R.J. Mahurin. Questions? Again, middle center.
For both of you guys, a similar question. Since you played Evansville so recently, how much does it stick in your mind? How much of it, how much is that a little bit overblown to? Where do you guys kind of fall in that?
Jake, why don't you start first, please?
We're familiar with a lot of the teams in the league, Evansville especially. Being that we recently just lost to them, I kind of like that, the fact that we get a kind of a redemption game, kind of erase what happened last time and make up for it. We've learned a lot of the mistakes that we did last game, and look forward to changing that and changing the outcome tomorrow.
RJ?
Yeah, like just kind of the point you touched on, just it being a redemption game for us. Like Coach had said that we didn't play very well defensively in the second half, at third place last week on senior night. So it's just another opportunity for us to come out and step up and show them that we can play well defensively down the stretch and close out games.
Question in the middle, back on the right.
Rick Simlin, WTHI TV in Terre Haute. Jake and RJ, you two are one of the few on the team that have won this tournament. What have you told your teammates this week preparing for the tournament, their mindset, and how to prepare their bodies this week to win 3 games in 3 days so you guys can get to the NCAA tournament?
It's toughness. Something that we've showed we have this year, and sometimes we haven't showed it. But going back to our freshman year, to win that, you got to fight every single possession. we kind of focused in on every 4 minutes that year and making sure we won each 4 minutes and shortening the game. And that's something that we got to translate into this weekend. We can't take any plays off. We got to value the ball and play defense like we have like we've done sometimes this year.
RJ, would you like to weigh in on that one too?
Yeah, I mean, I've been going around telling guys it's a grind. But like Jake said, every 4 minute game, or take every 4 minutes as a 4 minute game, and just take it step by step, defensive stop by defensive stop. So it definitely takes a lot. We were able to do it 2 years ago, and we're looking forward to trying to do it again.
Another question in middle front.
Jake, can you, pardon me, can you talk about how difficult it's been to get back to that level of toughness that you had in the first 2/3 of the Valley season, and how frustrating it's been to kind of recapture what you guys had going at that time?
Yeah, it's always difficult as the season progresses. You really can't put a finger on some games while we haven't came out and played the way that we wanted to play. But we do have a younger team. That's not really a good enough excuse, though. We just gotta battle harder. We gotta look back in our games where we played Ole Miss and Miami in the non-conference, and the way we battled there, and we gotta realize that the season's coming to an end, and our sense of urgency's gotta get stepped up a little bit, and we gotta understand that this season's coming to a close, and we want to finish out the right way.
On the right, on the far side.
Tim Kruger, NBC Hoop Show. Jake, talk a little bit about a couple years ago. You guys were kind of in a similar position, came in and won the tournament. Talk about doing that and kind of sharing with some of the younger members of the team and your experiences and how to get to that point.
I didn't hear what you said about that towards the end of that.
Winning the tournament a couple of years ago, and your experience in doing that, and how you can translate that to the younger members of the team and what it takes to get there.
When the year that we won it, we had a good group of juniors that led us through the tournament, and when we were freshmen. So that's something that RJ, myself, and Lucas Idle's got to do this year. We got to kind of, I don't know necessarily say walk them through it or what, but just kind of show them we got to bring it right from the tip and show them what we can do as a team, or what we need to do as a team, defensively and offensively, to kind of fight and gain that toughness that we needed to get that edge over Evansville.
Middle center on the right.
This is for both of you guys. Can you describe what that feeling is like when you do advance all the way and you win it, and also the description of what it's like when you're gone rather quick?
RJ, why do you take the lead this time?
As for winning, it's just an unbelievable feeling. All that hard work you've put in since the summer months, paying off, and being able to celebrate with your brothers and your teammates. And as for losing it, obviously the opposite feeling, just wondering kind of what you could have done more. And you want to leave everything you have out on the floor, but you still leave the tournament wondering what you could have done to put yourself in a better position to win the tournament.
Jake, your thoughts?
When we won the tournament our freshman year, it's probably the most happiest I've been in sports in my whole life. I've played sports for 18 years or so, and there's no greater feeling when you can put in the work in the summer and throughout the year and progress as a team and grow and develop, and then at the end of the season accomplish your goal. And there's no better feeling than that. And then as to not being successful in a tournament, it's heartbreaking, because there's thousands of hours that you put into the gym and film and practice, and when you don't accomplish that goal, it's not a good feeling, especially when you have a team that can do well in the tournament and can be successful, and then when you just don't come out and play the way that you need to do, and it's kind of heartbreaking.
Any other questions?